I totally agree with your aspect or analogy of that. I'd rather be the guy behind than the guy in front. And, you know, one of the things in thinking this through that you were asking is, you're always second guessing, but the guy behind, I noticed Pete always, and here he comes,
dog team,
takes a picture of the clipboard. He knows how long he's been here.
Here comes Pete Kaiser in the Koyuk, ladies and gentlemen. Last time we were on the Southern Route, this was your champion. And he and Ryan Redington now are within 6 miles of one another, and this is going to be a heck of a finish for an Iditarod championship in its 51st year. It's getting signed in now. Bruce is up there listening. Dallas was looking at the dogs. They look great. I can only imagine how exhausted they are. "171 miles to go." You can see Pete frosted up around that rough. There's Warren Palfrey, the race judge. They're talking about where to park right now. So early indication is that Pete is going to be staying a while. And he'll pull in. Well.
Quick math, just 35 minutes separate Ryan and Pete. Pete has gained a very little bit amount of time, but 35 minutes is not a comfortable lead
for anybody.
First position, and that's where this just made it all that much harder for Ryan when he gets to, have to make the first decision leaving here, and also in Elam if he's going to stay or not.
That team does not look very tired.
Nope.
They were wagging their tails. They weren't just standing there. They
Good. How are you?
were wagging their tails.
I'll come in and see you in a minute.
And another aspect to this, we're going to let this snow machine get by. You basically, considering all of these options, it comes down to one of two things. You have to either go farther or you have to rest shorter.
Or go faster.
And combine with going faster. So that's what Pete has to do to get that 30-plus minutes and be in front, if you want to try and win this thing.
Let me ask you this question. If somebody has to make a move to go win this race, is it easier for somebody who's already won the championship versus somebody who has not? Is there less pressure on Pete to win this thing than there is on Ryan Redington to win?
Man, there's pressure every which way. Listen, we're about to pop out a diamond here. There's a lot of pressure going on. I think there's some pressure on Pete that he's not the defending champion, but he's the champion, and he wants to defend that as best he can here today. Obviously, Ryan, this is the first time that he's had a realistic shot at winning the Iditarod. And it's a very realistic shot, right? So I think there's a lot of pressure right there. One thing I'd just like to point out real quick, Ryan came in here with a monster dog team. Looking strong. Dogs are perky, they're alert, they're awake. They're looking awesome. But yet, once again, Pete just came in here with what I feel is a little bit stronger dog team. And so I think when it comes to the long haul, Pete's not outrunning him by enough. He can't just plan on slowly reeling him in. Yeah. He just recently earned that faster team when I think Ryan made that long run over to Unilocleat, but there's not enough distance left to cash in on that alone. So I do think the ball's in his court a little bit, and I do think he's going to have to think seriously about going all the way to White Mountain. I think we can confirm that he is staying here. It doesn't look like he's loading up his sled. And that was my big question is he staying or is he going to try to knock a few miles off this next run? And those are both very nice looking dog teams. And I do think Pete might have a slightly stronger team, but we're talking slightly, and he does have a 35-minute deficit.
But I will tell you this, having talked to both of you guys many miles ago, you both agreed that Pete You thought he had a stronger team then, and he's been unable to overtake Ryan Redington to this point.
Well,
True.
there's
But
other
the finish
things
line is
that
a long ways away.
It is. No, it is, but it hasn't happened yet.
But he still has to use that stronger team. And I would say, standing here right now, I agree. That's the stronger, slightly stronger. But we're going to run out of trail here. Now, if there were 500 more miles to go, like Dallas is saying, with that team, the inertia, the little bit of speed, a couple minutes here, a couple minutes there, he might not have to do anything else. But we don't have 500 miles. You got to make a move.
But he may have already made up his mind that he's going all the way to White Mountain. He may have already made up his mind that that is the move. And with Ryan having already cashed in on one long run in recent history, Pete has not overexerted these dogs yet. And I'm not saying that Ryan has, but Ryan put a little more stress on him with doing that long run over to Unalakleet. I would say that Pete has that edge, and he has, the depth to do that long run, which I think another one would definitely take an edge off of Ryan even more. We already saw that Ryan went from being 20 minutes faster from Eagle Island to Caltag.
Yeah.
He was 20 minutes faster Caltag to Unalakleet, which was a long haul. But then the next run, Pete was 5 minutes faster. So the relative speed changed significantly when Ryan did that long run. Right? And on this run, yet again, I think Pete gobbled up another 5 or 6 minutes. It's not a lot. And as Bruce is saying, it's not enough to just try to reel him in. There's not enough miles left. The math doesn't work. But he does have a slightly stronger team, and I think he might be thinking if both him and Ryan do go all the way to White Mountain, that he'll beat Ryan between White Mountain and Nome.
Yeah.
Now, here's the scary part. I've been in this very same position where you're always wondering, this team was faster than me when they were rested. What will the 8-hour mandatory in White Mountain do? Will that regain them their speed? Right? So if you come in there 2 minutes ahead of them, now you both get this big, long rest. You take off out of there. Pete might even take off and lead. But does Ryan regain that speed that he had before, that innate speed? So it's going to be a fun race.
And that's the point.
Yeah.
We've got a good
that
dog race. And all these things we're talking about are going on in their heads, and that's what's going to be fun to watch as this unwinds. Now, I'm going to go down there and see how both teams are eating.